Don't fret, I've arrived. Hearing everyone's so-called good advice is truly like sipping on a cup of bitter coffee. Percy was unfazed. The lieutenant, fed up, growled him like a stubborn chick. Subtitles, however, if he were to do that, it would essentially be tantamount to committing suicide. Paul had no choice but to persuade him to calm down. As a team captain, Paul actually possessed quite impressive intimidation power. He quickly diffused the drama. Today was a special day, ready for a last show. Subtitle: The prison guard shaved his head completely bald. Despite having encountered countless prisoners, Paul's heart was filled with a complex mix of emotions, just like a chaotic stew. He only believed in that higher power, looking like he just walked out of a philosophy class. The guy reminisced about his first love. If he could turn back time, he'd pick someone way less dramatic, not a wet sponge on his head. The fear of death left him constantly gasping for breath, and with everyone watching, the scent of burning spread like a horror film that was about to commence. The doctor ensures all goes well. It may repeat, like changing a bulb. Once he was completely offline, Percy had to throw in a nasty remark, but the lieutenant quickly pulled him away, like unplugging a device. Paul felt a pain like a stub toe. He knew Percy would cause an uproar, hoping he'd voluntarily leave the prison. It was becoming a joke. Percy seized the moment for conditions. Just give him a chance to get hands on, and he'd voluntarily step down. It was love gone too far. Otherwise, he'd keep stirring trouble. Paul turned and left, like playing PUBG on his smartphone. The next day, something funny happened in the prison. Dale successfully trained a little mouse, like a superhero in an adventure. At his command, the mouse scurried up and down his arm, named it Kinky, like the Michael Jackson of the mouse world. Hearing Coffee's praise, Dale was overjoyed, declaring he'd treat it like a pet, like turning a sloth into a house dog. Percy showed up unusually, suggesting finding a box for the mouse, leaving everyone shocked. It was a jaw drop. Paul was summoned to the office. A new inmate was arriving tomorrow, named William, a real scary character. This guy was extremely dangerous, locked up in a mental hospital, a super challenge for the prison. The next day, the guards went to the mental hospital, finding William acting like a fool, a real sigh of relief, but the guards didn't know he was faking it. Once they brought him into prison, William flashed a weird smile, like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Paul, being tough, rushed to help, but got slammed by William, feeling like he was hit head-on. Percy hid carefully, and the lieutenant saved everyone in time like a suspense drama. They all teamed up to toss the inmate into the cell, but Paul was kneeling on the ground, hurt like a soldier getting wrecked by the urethritis had him in agony, and with that deadly hit, it was like pouring salt in the wound. When Coffee suddenly had something to say to Paul, he gritted through the pain, looking like he was starring in Teenage Mutant Ninja. Help, 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 help. Help, 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 please help. Help me until the light bulb explodes. Coffee finally released his hand. Paul felt a bit better, while Coffee acted as if he was in a solo play, extremely He spat out a bunch of flying bugs. Paul was left dumbfounded as the bugs vanished like magic in the air. After Coffee spoke, he fell asleep. Halfway out, Paul suddenly felt like he got superpowers. He walked into the bathroom again, indeed felt a long-lost relief, like he was in a theme park. Paul decided to reinvestigate Coffee's truth, asking the warden for a day off. He found Coffee's lawyer, but the info was so sparse, it was like talking to a wall. Paul asked if Coffee really killed someone. The lawyer dodged the question, talking about his old black dog, giving him a headache. The pup was gentle, never bit, but suddenly turned fierce, blinding his son. What a dramatic twist. The lawyer warned Paul not to trust criminals. Human nature was too complicated, like an unsolved mystery. The lawyer's words reeked of prejudice, but as thanks, Paul brought a small gift for Coffee, homemade cornbread by his wife, pure heartwarming stuff. Coffee gave bread to Dale, Kinky, but not William, like a bad candy share. William not only called Coffee a black dude, but spat in Paul's face, totally rude. Since then, William teased Dale whenever possible, creating a ping-pong-like exchange. When William went wrong, he was tossed into solitary until he learned his lesson, a totally unreliable rule. So William cleverly bought a cookie from the janitor with 5 cents while he was eating What a Little Businessman. When the lieutenant checked the cells, surprise, surprise, William was back in solitary again, same old story. Next day, Paul opened Dale's cell, and everyone knew about his mouse training. The prison organized a show like America's Got Talent. After the show, Dale felt like he'd found the meaning of life, but little did he know, it was all a big scam. Subtitles. Peach commended Dale's performance, yet Dale regarded him as a formidable adversary. Precisely at that moment, William suddenly seized Peach, plunging the scene into a moment of crisis. Paul quickly drew his gun. In that moment, William released Peach, more thrilling than a roller coaster. He claimed it was just a joke, but Peach was so scared he almost wet his pants. Peach warned everyone to save him, or their job would be on the line.